A short story about Luang Phor Daeng Piyasilo, the self-mummified monk of Wat Khunaram, Koh Samui. Luang Phor Daeng Piyasilo, also known as Luang Phor Daeng, was a Thai Buddhist monk born in 1894 in Bantapho, Nam Mueang Subdistrict, Surat Thani Province. He was the former abbot of Wat Khunaram, Koh Samui District, Surat Thani Province. When he was 20, he was ordained as a monk in his hometown for about 2 years and disrobed. Later, he married at Ban Lamai, Marat Subdistrict, and had 6 children. Luang Phor Daeng worked as a layman and farmer, and his skills and knowledge made him wealthy. During the World War II era in 1941, there was a famine. He helped his neighbors with food, clothing, medicines, and various items he could help with in that era until the war calmed down. Luang Phor Daeng enjoyed a prosperous family life until he was 50 after all his children had grown up. However, at 50, a deep yearning for spiritual exploration led him to renounce his worldly life and become a Buddhist monk for the second part of his life. He diligently studied Buddhism and meditation, quickly gaining respect for his knowledge and piety. His second ordain was in 1944 with Phra Khru Somtittikun, the fourth abbot of Wat Samut in Koh Samui district, who was his preceptor. After ordination, Luang Phor Daeng underwent initial training and learned to focus on Buddhist scriptures, meditation practices, monastic discipline, daily rituals, and chanting. Once he completed his initial training, Luang Phor Daeng pursued further studies in Buddhist philosophy, meditation techniques, and specific interests in learning the Pali language and Dhamma. He also focused on developing his spiritual practice through meditation retreats, solitary contemplation, and guidance from senior monks. As Luang Phor Daeng gained experience and seniority, he took on more responsibilities within the temple and the surrounding community. He also gave sermons, led religious ceremonies, participated in community events, offered spiritual counseling to individuals, traveled to other temples, and visited monasteries seeking guidance. At the end of a Buddhist Lent, he went up to practice samatha meditation in Grandma's cave at the foot of Khao Ma Ngun with Phra Khru Somtittikun, Thonglai Siri Wat Hano, the abbot of Wat Lamai. He is a teacher who teaches samatha meditation. He stayed at Tham Khao Yai for about 2 years and then moved to live with Luang Phor Daeng Tiso at Hua Layam So Monastery. Wat Phra Cheti Layam So at present. Luang Phor Daeng Tiso took him on a pilgrimage to seek the true Dhamma for over a year. He, therefore, bid farewell to Luang Phor Daeng Tiso and returned to develop Wat Sila and Gu for another 4 to 5 years. Years later, he went on a pilgrimage again, often visiting sacred sites and wandering to places in the forest. Eventually, he found a tranquil forest at Chawang Beach, then he went to the small monastic cell and practiced samatha meditation for 3 to 4 years. Later, he heard the news that Wat Mahathat, Bangkok, Jau Kun Pra Paiman Tham had opened the teaching of Vipassana meditation. He, therefore, immediately traveled to Bangkok. Luang Phor Daeng became a disciple of Jau Kun Pra Paiman Tham, famed for his Vipassana meditation teachings. He trains his mind to attain the Vipassana meditation. Until he was able to meditate and focus the mind for up to 15 days without movement, at that time, his body was as hard as a rock. For around 1 year, he has extensive mastery of the techniques. The teaching team concluded that sending him to spread Buddhism was appropriate. So, he established a Vipassana center and acquired land in Bo Phut subdistrict. Koh Samui district, namely Wat Buntari Karam, or Wat Phung Bua, teaches Vipassana meditation. Society accepted him then for the Buddha's Dharma, as he had many devoted disciples. Luang Phor Daeng dedicated himself to meditation, eventually practicing a form called Sokushinbutsu, a rare and extreme practice aimed at achieving mummification while still alive. Through strict dietary restrictions, meditation, and yogic exercises, practitioners aim to reduce bodily fluids and fat, allowing natural preservation after death. Luang Phor Daeng's dedication to his spiritual practice played a significant role in his decision to eat only 1 meal a day. He ate only the food in the daily alms bowl from the beginning of his ordination until he passed away. Luang Phor Daeng always speaks and does the truth, committed to doing the right thing. He has many monks, novices, and disciples who were at the Vipassana Meditation Center. It was established at Wat Khunaram for about 20 years until Luang Phor Daeng became sick due to his old age and health condition. He needed urgent medical attention, but the area was remote, and getting medical help was difficult. He became so sick that his disciples and descendants asked him to stay at Wat Khunaram. After that, Luang Phor Daeng stayed at Wat Khunaram, Nam Mueang Subdistrict, Koh Samui District, Surat Thani Province, his hometown temple. Luang Phor Daeng predicted his demise. He ordered Mr. Klakai and Mr. Phet, the layperson, to custom make himself a coffin for sitting cross-legged. When the time comes for him to die, he will be able to meditate in the coffin. Luang Phor Daeng says, there is no need to trouble the disciple to find for others or his descendants to do this for him. But no one believed that he would die, as he said. Because people close to him saw that even though he was old, his body was still perfect in every way. Luang Phor Daeng accepting death as a natural part of life is central to Buddhist teachings. At the end of the 5th month, he warned Mr. Klau and Mr. Phet, the coffin maker, to hurry and complete the coffin because his death was so near. Mr. Klau and Mr. Phet still didn't believe it until the waning moon of the 5th month. Luang Phor Daeng warned them again. He said, next month, he will be leaving the world behind, but no one believed him. When the coffin was completed, Luang Phor entered a self-built monastic cell within Wat Khunaram. He sat in a lotus position, surrounded by his disciples, and began his final meditation. His followers then sealed the monastic, leaving him with a small air vent. 3 weeks later, they opened the monastic and found Luang Phor Daeng had passed away. After that, his disciples and descendants placed his body in a sitting position in a coffin, which was hastened in the manner that he wanted and enshrined in the pavilion at Wat Khunaram to comply with his orders. Luang Phor Daeng, the more famous internationally, died while meditating in 1973. He has the magic and solid skills that can foresee the future. His mummified body is preserved through natural mummification. It remains on display, and he sits in a meditation posture in a glass case inside the temple. He is adorned with orange robes, and the temple's caretakers later added sunglasses to cover his decayed eye sockets as a mark of respect and to make the display less disturbing to devotees and visitors. Despite the unusual sight, this display serves as a powerful reminder of the impermanence of life and the dedication of Luang Phor Daeng to his spiritual path. After being ordained again in 1944, he became renowned for having spent long periods in solitude meditation practice and, for about 20 years, had many disciples among Buddhist monks and laypeople. Born in 1897, Luang Phor Daeng led a simple life dedicated to Buddhist teachings. He spent years honing his practice, eventually becoming a well-respected abbot at Wat Khunaram, a temple on the idyllic island of Koh Samui in Thailand. His practice aims to cultivate wisdom and detachment, leading to liberation from suffering and enlightenment. He is revered by locals and tourists alike as an influential spiritual figure and a reminder of the impermanence of life. He was also known for his ability to foresee his death. In the final 7 days leading up to his death, Luang Phor Daeng stopped eating and drinking, which dehydrated his body to preserve it after his death. It happened in 1973 when he was 79 years and 8 months old. His body was miraculously preserved in a state of mummification. Even though his death was 5 decades ago, his body still has not decomposed in any way. Many revered him for his spiritual attainments and considered him a powerful amulet for his followers. If you have the opportunity to travel to Koh Samui, remember to stop by Wat Khunaram, a popular tourist destination on Koh Samui Island, which is situated in the heart of Koh Samui, approximately 5 kilometers from Lamai Beach. Pay homage to Luang Phor Daeng and ask for his blessings to increase auspiciousness in your life. This mystical temple is to behold the extraordinary story of Luang Phor Daeng, learn about his life and Sokushinbutsu practice, and explore the serene temple grounds. His teachings and influence genuinely deserve our respect and contemplation. Remember to dress modestly and respectfully when visiting any Buddhist temple. Now let us chant the preliminary prayer. Before chanting to any Thai Buddhist statue or amulet, first, chant 3 times of this initial mantra. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะราโกระโชนะจะปนะเรโนใจจติรากัสเสตังอธิวัจนังระโชติเหตังระชังวิปปัชชะทิตวาภิกขโววิหารันติเหวิกาคาระหัสสะสาสเนราโกระโชนะจะปนะเรโนใจจติรากัสเสตังอธิวัจนังระโชติเหตังระชังวิปปัชชะทิตวาภิกขโววิหารันติเหวิกาคาระหัสสะสาสเนราโกระโชนะจะปนะเรโนใจจติรากัสเสตังอธิวัจนังระโชติเหตังระชังวิปปัชชะทิตวาภิกขโววิหารันติเหวิกาคาระหัสสะสาสเน
I hope your prayers and Luang Phor Daeng's blessings bring you comfort and joy. May your prayer be blessed by his holy light, which will always shine upon you.